Assalamu alaikum. My name is Farah Hanani and I'm a full-time master's student in London, and previously I was a working professional in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'd like to share some of the learnings that I've learned from the Al-Ghazali series by Shaykh Abdal Hakim Murad, provided by the Cambridge Muslim College. And the lesson is regarding the book of intention, sincerity and truthfulness. And I consumed this lesson and listened to the lecture back when it was COVID-19 lockdown. And at the time, I can't do much really, but I did a lot of running. So I listened to the lecture when I do my 10 kilometers run, and then the next day, another lecture, another 10 kilometers run. And before I knew it, I finished the whole lecture, run equivalent amount of a half marathon distance with the barakah of Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah. So this lesson is quite definitive for me, because always the question and the affair of intention, I always find in a conundrum. When you say you do an action for the sake of Allah, how do you make the connection between the two? What is the reality of that intention? Is it a straight line? Are there layers? Because often it's a human experience. We found ourselves when we say that I do a certain virtue for the sake of Allah, it sometimes falls flat or it feels ungenuine. And this is a human experience that we all go through when we make our intentions and we say we do things for the sake of Allah. So Imam Al-Ghazali tackles this very fundamentally, and he even acknowledges the human experience of this and given the steps of what are the components for this mysterious equation of when we do things and when we do an action for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imam Al-Ghazali said this. He said, imagine like if you're loving someone. It's an analogy that he gave. You can't actually intend to love someone by just saying that I intend to love someone. You can't force this feeling. For us to love, the soul must rise and the heart has to be so welled up that it can be shifted and oriented to a certain purpose. So you can't really force this feeling. It's just not possible to say that you love something for the sake of Allah. Then it begs the question, how if we can't control our intentions? And Imam Ghazali even exposes this reality with a rather explosive statement that actions are not subjected to your own choice. So what can we do? And the good news is the Imam Ghazali gave is that you can't control your actions or control your intentions, but what you can affect is the circumstance and the condition and the environment in which the intention can rise more naturally. And he gave an analogy like a fish swimming in a pond. Like a fish is your intention, and the pond and the water is your heart and the condition of your heart. So the work that you have to do is to affect the water, to purify the water, to make it more clear, so that the fish, which is your intention, can swim much more easily to the right location, to God, inshallah. And this is the inner work that we have to do. And this is kind of transformative effect on me, because I think previously that you just control your actions or you manipulate your actions, but you can't actually dictate the fish to go to where it goes. But what you can do is make the inner work of making your heart pure, getting knowledge, so that the fish can swim easily to the pond. And with this condition, you can hope that the right intentions, which is for the sake of Allah, rise more naturally and give more openings for us to orient ourselves to the right intention, inshallah. So to summarize the whole lesson, the more reflective insight that I learned from this lesson, inshallah, is it reminded me of a Malay proverb in Bahasa, in which it says, kuat pokok kerana akarnya dan kuat akar kerana tanah. Loosely translated as, a tree is strong because of its roots, and the roots are strong because of the soil. And to me, the soil, which is hidden, unassuming, is actually the reality of intentions, in which we work and toil to make sure we water it, we maintain it, we put nutrients in it, so that the tree of our intentions can grow as high to the heavens, and the leaves can cover the whole sky, and the fruits of our service and the flowers can be enjoyed from one generation to another. So, what is the measure of good intentions? If we would like to measure it, how does it manifest itself? So, in my reflection is that if you're doing an action or a service of your growing or building something, a good intention will manifest itself as good adab and good akhlaq. Because simply, if you are aware of how you are aware of your heart all times, how you conduct with each other, how you interact with the world, immediately and automatically, beautiful conduct will manifest itself, because there's God in it in every moment and you're aware of it. And your heart is more oriented not only to the action, but you're able to make that mysterious equation of you're doing the action for the sake of Allah. And that is all what I want to share for today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. At Cambridge Muslim College, we're raising the standard of Muslim scholarship to address the challenges of the modern world with talks like these, but also through our certified academic programs. We're training students who can speak to our times and meet the needs of our communities. But we can only do this with your support. Whether zakat, a one-off donation, or a regular contribution, your gift will help educate more students, elevate new leaders, and illuminate entire communities for generations to come. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.